name is Hearty Dueñas.
And I'm Ivanuel Arriola, and we are here to present our project, RFID-based gate pass system for students.
Everyone, the project and its background. In many institutions and organizations, particularly schools, monitoring of students is a very important factor, especially in identifying every individual coming in and out of the school every day. So the researcher designed and developed a RFID-based gate pass system for students with the innovation of entrance lock technology, which facilitates in more efficient way the monitoring of students' entry and departure from the institution. The system is intended to use for the students to access entry using a single card only.
So these are the objectives of the study. So the first one is to design an RFID-based gate pass system for students that will easily identify the students who will enter the institution. The second one is to develop a system that will allow the students to enter the gate by using RFID card. The last one is to evaluate the project in terms of functionality, reliability, ease of use, and safety.
Next is the significance of the project. The following is the beneficiary of our project. First one is the Mindoro State College of Agriculture and Technology, Bungabong Campus. This project is benefits for the institution for improving and providing additional devices that will help them to easily monitor the student who enter the campus. The second one is the student. The study would be benefit for the students, and the third one is for the guards. This study would be benefit for them to easily monitor the student who will enter the campus. And the last one is for the future researcher. This system device will benefit and help the future researchers who wish to conduct a similar study.
So for the scope and limitation of the project. So first is the scope. So RFID-based gate pass system for students can be used to monitor the students who enter the school. The second one is the device will be installed at Minskat Bungabong Campus main gate to improve the manual process of security, checking and monitoring of the student who enters the campus. The third one is it also allows to register new students in the system. So for the limitation, the project allows to accommodate only one person at a time.
For the definition of terms, the researcher used the following components. The first one is the RFID reader, which used to read the student card. The next one is the RFID card, which used by the student to enter the campus. The third one is the solenoid lock, which is used for the main gate to lock and unlock of the barrier. And the fourth one is the Arduino Uno. The researcher used Arduino Uno for the controller of the electrical devices such as the relay, RFID card, and etc. Then the fifth one is the relay module, which is used for the on and off of the solenoid lock. Then the sixth one is the monitor, which is to the display of the output. And the last one is the Raspberry Pi. It is act as the main controller of the whole system.
So for the chapter 2, it is the review of related literature and studies.
So first is the related literature. New Jersey school adopt RFID to secure their facilities. The second one is double gate security system based on RFID technology by Muhammad Asher Terid. For the related studies, the first one is on studies monitoring using RFID from Eleanor Jimenez and De Losa. The second one is the development of student monitoring system with the use of low frequency radio, frequency identification, and the short messaging services by Rowell and De Losa. And the last one is integration protocol, academic information to campus RFID pass system by Hendra Gumawan and Evesal Abdul Kadir.
So here are the technology used in our project. So the first one is Arduino Uno, the second one is the RFID card, RFID reader, Raspberry Pi, and a relay module. So for the conceptual framework, so the existing system is that the students will show their ID to the guard, then the guards will manually check their ID, then the guards will give back the ID to the student. So the RFID-based gate pass system for students, the user scans their ID, then the RFID reader reads the card, then the system will automatically unlock the barrier after validating the owner's space.
The next one is the conceptual paradigm. This figure shows the input phase, process phase, and the output phase. For the input phase, it includes the knowledge requirements, hardware requirements, and software requirements. For the knowledge requirements, it includes the electronics, Arduino microcontroller, and programming. For the hardware requirements, it includes the microcontroller, RFID card, RFID reader, and other components that the researcher used. Then the last one is the software components, which includes the Arduino IDE. For the process phase, it includes the problem identification, the research, requirements specification, the design, the concept generation, prototype and construct, the system integration, system testing, and the last one is the evaluation. Then for the output phase is the RFID-based gate pass system for students. For the chapter 3 is the methodology. This figure shows the engineering design process. So it includes the requirements specification, problem identification, concept generation, the design, system integration, system testing, and evaluation.
For problem identification, it is to identify the problem of end customer needs. So the problem involves checking each of the students by the guard, and it takes a lot of time and effort for the guard to check the students who enter the gate.
The next one is the research or data gathering. The design team conduct research on the basic engineering and scientific principles and technologies, and then the existing solutions. 4 methods of data gathering the researchers did. The first one is the observation, the second one is the interview, the third one is the questionnaires, and the last one is the evaluating its suitability.
So for requirement specification, so it is important to focus on what the system must do as opposed to how the solution will be implemented. So the researcher specified the purpose of RFID-based gate pass system for students and why it is needed to be implemented. So they determine the scope, additional features, and also its limitations.
For the parts and components, the hardware methodology aims to explain the detailed construction of the whole system in order to show the flexibility of reconstructing the project in other possible ways as long as the specification mentioned were met.
So for the concept generation, in this case, many possible solutions to the problem are developed. So the hallmark of the design is that the open-minded, meaning that there are multiple solutions to the problem, and the objective is to develop one that best meets the requirements and satisfies the constraint.
The next one is the design phase. the team iteratively develops a technical solution, ultimately producing a detailed system design.
So for the system flowchart of the RFID-based gate pass system, so the first one is to turn on the device, insert a card to the device, then validate the card from the database. So if the card is not registered, so the system will display a dialog or a text not registered. Then if yes, the system will unlock the barrier and shows or display the owner's face. Then the student can enter the gate, then repeat the process. This is the system flowchart of the registration. So for registration, it needs to open the application first, then enter the username and password. So the system will validate the username and password from the database. So if the username and password is not registered, sign up as a user. Then enters the username and password. Then admin's username and password will be validated from the database. Then if the admin's username and password is correct, it will give access to enter the username and password for the user, then save to the database. So if the user enters the valid username and password, the user can enter the student's name, then enter, if the user wants an image capturing, it will open the camera, then capture an image. Then if the user doesn't want an image capturing, the user can choose from file, then choose a course from file also, then scan the RFID card, then save to the database. So for the update and delete, so open the form for the update and delete. Then if the user wants to update and data, choose a data, then save to the update, then save to the database. Then if the user wants to delete, choose a data, then delete.
So next is the block diagram of registration. So this figure shows the flow of registration process. The RFID reader read the RFID card, then it will send to the microcontroller, and the microcontroller send to the PC or laptop. Then the webcam captures an image, then it will send to the PC or laptop and then save. Next is the block diagram of the RFID-based data system for the students. So this figure shows the block diagram of the system. The RFID reader reads the RFID card, then it's sent to the microcontroller, and the microcontroller sends it to the Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi verifies the RFID card if the card is not registered, and if the card is registered, it will show the owner's card to the monitor. Then the Raspberry Pi command to the microcontroller to unlock the barrier. So next is the project design. This figure shows the front view of the system when the student inserts the card. Then the next one is the right view of the project design, which is shown the displaying of the owner's face of the card, then the barrier, and then the withdrawal card section. So next one is the inner view of the system. This figure shows the solenoid lock, ultrasonic sensor, servo motor, RFID reader, and then the DC motor.
So for the software design, we use two applications. The first one is the Arduino IDE, then the second one is the Visual Studio 2010. So for the mechanical section, this is the schematic diagram of our project. So for the whole system, the RFID reader is connected to the our digital pins of the Arduino. Also the ultrasonic sensor, relay, the servo is connected also to the digital pins of the Arduino. Then the 12-volt solenoid lock is connected to the relay, where it has a 12 volts DC adapter. Then two 5 volts DC motor is connected to the VCC and ground of the Raspberry Pi. Then a flash drive is also connected to the Raspberry Pi to the port, and it has a HDMI cable which is connected to the monitor. Then the Arduino is connected to the port of the Raspberry Pi. Then for the registration, there is only 3 components. 4 rather. The RFID reader, which is connected to the digital pins of the Arduino. Then the PC, Arduino, and the flash drive. The flash drive is connected to the PC. Then the Arduino is connected also to the PC.
So next is the prototyping phase. In prototyping and construction phase, different elements of the system are constructed and tested. All the materials needed for the development of RFID-based data system for students identified first, including the electronic components and the pin configuration and specifications. All of the parts project were examined thoroughly to avoid system malfunctions.
So for system integration, this phase is challenging and time-consuming since many different pieces of design must be interfaced, and the team must work closely to make it work. So to fully develop the system design, all parts were assembled properly for hardware integration. So assembling the prototype and programming will be done simultaneously.
So next is the system test. In system testing, the functionalities of the system were tested from an end-to-end perspective. The design and fabrication process, all the components were tested and the connection were verified to ensure the project is functional.
So for evaluation, after testing the project, it was evaluated by 30 respondents, 10 from students from different programs, and 20 of them from community based on the following criteria. The first one is the reliability, the second one is functionality, the third one is ease of use, and the fourth one and the last one is for safety. So for the chapter 4, it is the design and development, testing, and analysis of result.
So evaluation of existing methods. Different methods and techniques were studied for the successful development of the design project. Existing methods contributed to the concept and development of the RFID-based data system for the students.
So the design and consideration. Some considerations were involved in the development of the design project, such as materials used, the cost, the importance, and the availability in the market. Time, reliability, functionality, safety, and ease of use were also put into consideration. The electronic assembly, this is where the parts were located. The first one is the Arduino Uno, the Raspberry Pi, the relay module, the USB drive, the RFID reader, the servo motor, the DC motor, the ultrasonic sensor, and the solenoid lock.
For the mechanical assembly, the figure show insert card section, the withdrawal section, for the student. The barrier measures 2 feet long and 45 degrees angle. Then for the system, it measures 14 inches width and 38 inches long, and then for the height is the 36 inches.
So for hardware and software process, the hardware process involves the procedures and instruction in the operation of the project design. So RFID-based gate pass system for students uses 220 volts power supply. Then once the switch was on, the system is loading to start up services until the operating system is ready to use. So the researcher used a Visual Studio to create the system software, forms, buttons, in connection with the Arduino regarding the RFID card, RFID reader, solenoid lock, relay, DC motors, and servo.
For the fabrication of mechanical parts and interfacing of the electronic control, safety was taken into the consideration when interfacing the different electronic parts of the project. Connections of each device were done separately to be easily identified. Every wiring was covered with electrical tape to avoid any possible contacts between them. The researchers would make sure that there was no unnecessary connections that would cause malfunctions in the device.
Simulation, testing, and troubleshooting. Testing activities were done during the designing of the circuit of the RFID-based gate pass system for students to ensure that the project was operating properly as designed.
For the project testing, the project was tested constantly in order to test its reliability, functionality, safety, and ease of use. All function of the machine was tested to ensure that it is fully operational.
So for the chapter 5, the summary, findings, and conclusion, and recommendation.
The summary of the project. The project was composed of the Raspberry Pi, Arduino as the main brain of the project, the RFID reader for the scanner of the student card, the RFID card, which is the main gate pass of the student to enter the campus, a monitor, and a solenoid lock to execute the main feature of the system. The project was composed of different hardware devices, including the Arduino microcontroller, the lock, sensor, motor, and the monitor. The project powered by Raspberry Pi with the 220 volts power supply.
So for the conclusion, the RFID-based gate pass system for students was designed for students to easily identify the students who will enter the institution. So the system was developed to allow the student to enter the gate by using radio frequency identification card. So the system was evaluated as reliable, functional, easy to use, and safe.
The recommendations of the system. The design project and additional RFID readers for the exit of the gate. A long-range RFID reader should also be considered. The second one is the project should use high-end database that can directly store data and images. Future researchers may include a student's counting system for more convenient monitoring system. Then the last one, the future developers can use this study as a reference in conducting similar studies.
Hey everyone, I am Ivanuel Arriola.
And I am Hearty Dueñas, and we are here to present our project entitled RFID-based gate pass system for students. The system will be able to monitor anyone who is entering the campus and also to identify the owner of the ID.
So for the parts of the project, first is we have the monitor, the RFID card scanner, RFID cards, the card insert section, the circuitry section, the turnstile, the switch, the card withdrawal section, and the main body. For the registration, first, we have to get the flash drive from the circuitry section. Plug the flash drive and the RFID scanner. The next step is to open the application for registration. To register a card, you need a valid username and password. So if you're not registered yet, you need to sign up first. To log in, enter the username and password that has been registered. Click Login. To register a card, click Register. Enter the student's name, choose course, if you pick a wrong picture for course, click Clear and choose another one. For student's picture, there's two options. The first one is the open camera, capture, you can clear it. For the second option is choose from file. Choose a certain picture, scan the card, then save. Click OK. Click back. To update or delete a certain data, click Update or Delete button. In here, you can view all the saved data from the database. To delete the data, you just have to pick or select a certain student, then delete. To update the data, you just have to select data, then for example, change the course, and update data. As you can see, his course changed. And when you're done, close the application.
After the registration, eject the flash drive from the laptop.
And unplug it. Put it back into the circuitry section.
The system uses 220 volts for its supply. First, plug the outlet into the AC supply. Next, press the switch button for the whole system. As you can see, the system is loading to startup services until the operating system is ready to use. Next step, insert the student's card into the insert section. The system unlocks the barrier after validating the owner face, and it will display on the monitor. And pick your card on the withdrawal section. If students are not registered, it will notify on the monitor, and the students will not enter inside the campus. If the student insert her card and they not yet go inside the campus, a few seconds, the barrier will automatically lock, and the guard will give back the card to the student. For the turn off of the system, just go to the switch section. Turn off the system. Plug out into the outlet.
That's all, Ed.
Thank you.